Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Age of Charlemagne Total War 1212 AD. This is the mod, again, for Rome 2 Total War and not for Attila Total War, so don't get it mixed up. This is the first version they ever released. Or, well, not the first version, but I mean it's the version they released for Rome 2 Total War. It hasn't seen, any updates because they've actually switched over to Attila. I think I've talked about this in the other video, but just really quick, yeah, they're making the medieval total, or they've moved the medieval kingdoms Total War mod over to Attila. I'm not sure the reasons behind it. My guess would be just it works better for what they're trying to do in general, but that one has a lot of really, really good stuff. This is a great mod even on Rome 2, but on Attila, they're working on a full-blown campaign that looks fucking awesome. They're working on a bunch of factions. The amount of factions that I've seen while looking through their stuff is immense. I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can check out both of these mods. Unfortunately, the one for Attila that's even more complete is not available to the general public yet. Some YouTubers do have access to it. I would love to have access to it. If you're watching this, I would play the fuck out of it. I would make some great videos for you guys. I'm just kidding, my videos suck. But anyways, let's get right on. We're just going to watch a battle replay. This is between me playing as the Kingdom of England, and then I'm going to be versus Arius. Sorry, I said his name wrong last time and he corrected me, but he's going to be playing as France, so kind of a classical matchup here of England versus France. So let's just go right into it. Battle of Lemanum. Okay, so he's got a bunch of okay. So here we go. Here is my army, and I wanted to do something a little bit different this time. I wanted to bring a I knew he was playing as France, so I wanted to bring kind of a build that I thought matched Agincourt. If any of you have heard about the Battle of Agincourt, so I just kind of brought an army that I thought kind of mirrored what the English army would have looked like, and from some of the things I've read, not completely obviously, but just to a certain degree. But for example, I guess really the only thing that I really did from the Agincourt is I put some longbows on the side here. These are the longbow militia, so I have 2 of those on each flank. And then in the center, right behind all my infantry, I have 2 yeoman archers, which are not the strongest longbows that England can bring, but they're still really, really good for the price. I mean, 800 is quite a bit still, but they're really good, and I definitely advise bringing some. I have 2 Templar mounted sergeants, both of them on my flanks, and then on my flanks behind or in front of my archers, I also have Bill militia. These Templars and the Bill militia are just there as a deterrent against, French cavalry, which I'm going to assume there's going to be lots of. Then on both flanks of my main infantry line, I have billmen, just regular billmen, and then a heavy billman. So as you can see, these heavy billmen look pretty damn sick. Really well done. And then for my main line, I brought a little bit of, I think I brought 1 Hospitaller Foot Knight. Yeah, those guys look pretty cool. Then I brought sergeants. I think I brought 2 sergeants. Yeah, so I brought 2 of these sergeants, which are still a pretty high-class melee unit. And then I brought these kind of mid-tier, low-tier infantry units, the Castellans. They're still pretty good, though, honestly. And for 500, you can't do much better. And I brought 3 of those. So that brings out my total line to 6 units there. And on the very front, really quickly, it looks like things might get heated soon. I have 3 of these, 3 or 4. 3 of these armored peasants, which, they're just doing their thing. And then my general unit is an English knight early. And let's go ahead and go look at his army now. Actually, we'll take a better gander at it once it is fully placed. I don't want to try and read what all these are while they're running about, but I tried to get my right flank up on this hill so that I could potentially set up something like this, but I don't think I end up doing it. I think I just leave them in the straight line as far as I can remember. But if I had done that, it wouldn't have made a huge difference, honestly, just because he does have a cav advantage over me. Not a severe one, but a pretty good one nonetheless. Alright, so let's start looking at what he's got here. He's got a bunch of these Hospitaller Foot Knights. He's got Hospitaller Foot Sergeants. He's got 5 of them. Yeah, he's got 5 of them, and he's got 1 Chatelaines. I don't know how to pronounce that. I probably butchered the hell out of it. Then he's got 2 armed peasants. 3 armed peasants. And he's got 3 armed peasants. And he does have another Shetlands over here on the flank. And I think those are decent. I can't remember what their actual stats are, but I think they're decent mid-tier. And the sergeants here in general are mid-tier. Oh shit, this is already starting. Okay, so we'll have to go over what his nope, we're gonna look at his cavalry right now. Okay, so for cavalry, he does have Hospitaller Knights. He does have another armed peasant over here. Hospitaller Mounted Sergeants, Hospitaller Knights, and Hospitaller Mounted Sergeants. So sergeants are melee cav and knights are shot cav units. But one thing you can see right off the bat that gives England a huge advantage is just the absolute maximum range these guys have, these human archers. They're hitting him at the range is 190. So, incredible range. And so I pretty much played the defensive role in this battle. Moved up, got my right flank on this hill here. He did charge these, these militia billmen, or these bill militia, which is not a good idea. They basically work like pikemen in this game, like short-range pikemen. Slightly better against infantry than pikemen in Rome or Attila, though. But as you can see, he does have quite a bit of cav space on me, so he is going to be able to do quite a bit of flanking. That is going to be unfortunate. But these armed peasants are not going to stand up very long. And I'd love to show you a bit more of the battle, but as you can see, things are heating up here on the left flank as well. He's circling a good portion of his cav around to try and get in here. He wants these archers dead. You know, he can see what damage they're doing. He's got armed peasants occupying my Bill militia, and I did turn my Templar mounted sergeants around to meet him, but I'm trying to get my longbow militia out of there, out of the fight, and at the same time I am moving up my generals so that I can kind of help against this fight. And then up here on the right flank, it's just kind of this interesting fight going on. I did send up my Templar mounted sergeants to hit him when he came behind me, and I guess they kept going and followed them outside of my billmen, leaving these longbow militia exposed. And I'm not excellent at micromanaging. In fact, I don't even claim to be good at this game in general, but that was a big mistake on my part because the Bill militia have this front. They're fine. They can accept any charges from this area. The sergeants were the ones that were supposed to keep these guys from doing anything, but there was a lot of micromanaging going on in this game, as you can see from over there, but it was just funny because they sat there for so long before charging my longbows. And I'm sure I'm talking really fast just because this battle has a lot of stuff going on, but he does rout my Templar sergeants here. My general I did pull back, but he does have my actual billmen here that he has to deal with now that I've turned around. And I still have my Bill militia here as well. And my general unit is here as well. And so his infantry obviously busted through my my armed peasant line, and now they're running into the shield wall. I ordered all of my infantry into shield wall, and I just ignored them for the most part, honestly, because I had to really concentrate on some of these, both my flanks, you know, zooming back and forth. And it looks like I have these mounted sergeants back, and I didn't even notice. It's possible. It's a corruption in the gameplay that I can't remember, but he does have more cav, so he's going to be able to start doing a bit of hammer and anvil. Hitting up some of my human archers is particularly not fun for me. Luckily, the English longbows are pretty good in melee combat as well, though, so they are going to be able to last for a while. And these Bill militia are now taking care of these Hospitaller Knights. And I did manage to rout these Hospitaller sergeants using the billmen and my knights here, my English knights. But he does have another Hospitaller Knight that's going to come in and ruin their day before I can get them back into a reasonable formation. Over here on the right flank, things are not going spectacularly well. My Templar Sergeant is, they've held things off. They've held the enemy off for the most part, but I lost my archer unit, and the line's kind of getting spread out. And I am getting rear charged here, which was unfortunate. These are my heavy billmen too, so I would have wanted them to, you know, be used more effectively. But for the most part, the battle's going in my favor now. I've been able to repel him. I've been able to keep my general line stable. I've held my flanks. Well, at least I haven't let him like really get around my flanks. I wouldn't say I've held them spectacularly well, but they're still alive, so that is good. And you can see the balance in power now is definitely in my favor. I've done quite a bit of damage to his men. Look at those human archers. These French knights from the High period, though, are pretty tanky, so not going to take a lot of damage, but they didn't get a particularly great charge off on my sergeants, although they are going to get into my human here. And you can see that I've just surrounded these chatlins with billmen and my English knights here. And this is going to develop into a pretty long melee over here on this flank, actually, because he does send in, as you can see, he has some armed peasants he sends in, and I'm pretty sure he sends cavalry into that fight as well. But I'm not 100% sure. But my line's holding just fine. My infantry and shield wall were able to accept his charge. I have lost this... this right flank is lost now, so he is moving up some of his sergeants, his Hospitaller sergeants. And they're going to be able to hit me from the rear. But, I mean, he's got these chatlins too, so he's trying to take out what remains of these heavy billmen, I believe. Yeah, he's going to charge the back of these heavy billmen. I think there's some glitches, though, with formations in this. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, there's a fight going on here between some chatlins, armed peasants, and the billmen. And, oh, I sent my general unit. Okay, so he did break through with his general unit, but unfortunately he just doesn't have enough reinforcements here, and I am able to get him reasonably trapped, although what I should have done is I should have gotten some in here to just make sure they were sandwiched and they couldn't get out easily. I think I do send these Castilians in, though. But these billmen are forming up again. The rest of this line has pretty much won out its fights. There's obviously a few skirmishes going on here and there, like with these heavy billmen and over here with these Castellans. But I'm trying to reform them now to make some sort of line. Can't remember exactly why I didn't just leave them here, because obviously they're getting charged from this side here. Not sure what's going on there. But unfortunately, his French Knight General unit is pretty much failing him at this point, so it's not going to survive much longer for him. He just allowed it to get surrounded too quickly. You can see, though, that this replay is pretty flawed. All these units that are sitting there just waiting to be given an order, but they actually routed fully in the actual game, so it's just kind of funny how the replays do that sometimes. But yeah, I've pretty much won at this point. I routed his general. I'm just finishing up this melee with Hospitaller Foot Knights, and then I have this melee going on up here with Hospitaller Foot Sergeants, and up here with Hospitaller Foot Sergeants. But I've pretty much wrapped it up. And I do apologize, I didn't realize just how much was going on during that battle until I tried commentating on it, but you know, it's very rare that I win against Arius, so I was quite proud of myself. I would say about 4 times out of 5 he wins, maybe even more than that, maybe 9 times out of 10. But yeah, it was a fun battle. I really enjoyed that. I think England might be a little bit overpowered, maybe. I mean, just look at these human archers, 222, 252, extraordinary kills. Very few on my my 2 Templar mounted sergeants, and decent on the English knights. And if you just look through, you know, the billmen did really good. Some of these did okay. Some of them did not do good. Like, these sergeants didn't really get a lot of kills. I don't think they were in a lot of action, though. So yeah, that was the first battle I'm going to show you guys. No, I think this is the second one I've shown you. I can't remember. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you'd like to see some more of the Medieval Kingdoms Total War. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.